What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Time Out with Turtle. So, I hope you guys are well. I want to make a couple announcements here, real quick. Number one is this: Father's Day is right around the corner, and I just want to take a moment of my time to wish all my fathers that might listen out here happy Father's Day. Hope you guys. Hope you guys have a wonderful Father's Day for everything you guys do and everything like that. My second announcement is that I would also like to announce that Summer Games is right around the corner, and I am super excited to see how our county does in that. That's also actually, funny enough, that's going to be our topic today, so to some degree, but enough of that. So let's get into today's episode, guys. So we've talked about struggles on here. We've talked about the bullying. We've talked about just how our day to day disability affects us all the time. And I thought, that's great and that's fantastic. But I really want to touch on Special Olympics more so today because I find that I wish I would have found out about it sooner, because the fact of the matter is this: had I found it sooner, I feel like I would have grown and become better than where I'm at right now. So for my listeners out there who don't know what it is and don't know how to get involved, I'm going to give you guys the tools today. So with that said, what do we offer, right? That's what we got. That's what you guys are probably asking. So each county is completely different, but the majority of the county offers a lot of the same stuff. I know in Ohio, I can't speak for other states, but in Ohio, it seems like the big and most popular sport is basketball. That's a huge one. That's during the fall, winter time. Uh, that one's freaking, it's huge, guys. That whole weekend at state for basketball is huge. Actually, that's my favorite sport to play. And I'll tell you right now, I am by no means, like, I don't even follow the NBA. I'm not like super into basketball, but I will tell you that it's the funnest to play. It's probably one of the more competitive ones to play. And it's a blast. It's an absolute blast when you're spending time with your buddies in the locker room that might be small, and you're with each other so much that just it really becomes a second family. There's other sports we offer, such as sports like softball, volleyball, bocce, golf. I know I'm gonna miss some: swimming, track, bowling. Okay, let me run through this again. I'm sorry, guys. Bear with me. Bowling, basketball, bocce, golf, softball, basketball, swimming, track. The point is, it goes. I think that's it. I'm sure I'm missing something, but there's a good bit out there for your individual to basically get into. Is the point here? That's the main point I'm trying to make here. So if you're watching this and you know me and maybe you play, if I miss something, please let me know. But so maybe you're an individual who hasn't had a chance to really play sports or get involved. So how do you go about doing that? Well, if you're from Ohio like myself, this is usually the steps here in Ohio. What you got to do is, number one, what county do you live in? For example, I live in Tuscarawas, so you know, whatever county you live in, you basically go to the board. And you need to talk to your coordinator, where they will basically they'll give you a form to fill out. It's a medical form, it's a physical form. I believe they're good for 4 years. Once you get this physical done, and then you're good to play sports for 4 years. Now, once all that's said and done, you're good to play in games and so on and so forth. And it just, maybe you're a parent and you're listening to this and you're thinking, is this really going to be a good fit for my child? Because, school sports didn't go well. I'm telling you right now, it's day and night. Like, everybody is so welcoming. I think back to the first time I started playing, and I was playing for Coshocton County when I first started, and I had those same thoughts as an athlete. I was worried it was going to be this. I'm going to have to memorize plays, and I'm going to have to do this, because we've talked about that before, where my memory's it's not the best, right? So I was worried about that, and as I got more comfortable with it, over the years, I found that, oh my gosh, it's like a family, when I transferred to Tusk, it just became better and better, and I started speaking, and I started doing more outside of Special Olympics. So it's not just playing sports so much, but there's other things that go on outside of sports. Let me give you an example. Here's a great example. So my buddies and I, a lot of my closest friends, I guess, we're all friends. Don't get me wrong, but my closest friends on the team, we do a lot of we do a lot of things together outside. So like usually in the springtime, I'm just gonna use this as an example. My buddy Derek, Matthew, and a few other athletes, we go golfing, and I specifically remember this one time we were all golfing, and we were having fun, and I love to golf, but I am absolutely horrible at golf, and we went out there and we're having a heyday, Matthew and Derek and everyone, I believe they were sitting in the cart, and I was stuck on the green, or I'm sorry, not the green, the fairway. And so I get a wedge out, and I'm like trying to hit this thing, like a chipping wedge. And I'll tell you what, guys, it's for whatever reason, I could not hit that ball. So somewhere, Matthew, if you're listening to this, that boy's got a video of me repeatedly hitting this ball and getting madder as the second goes on. And I couldn't hit it. No matter how many times I swung, I couldn't hit it. And I remember him going back to our coordinator, Rochelle, and showing her the video of us all golfing, on our little break in between sports. When nothing was really in season that we wanted to do at the moment. And she just laughed and laughed because there's Alex out here I think we just did one state. Now we're golfing, and I'm just sitting there, whack, whack at this ball that I can't get to move. So, yeah, it is more than just sports. I look back to memories like that, and it was fantastic. It just makes you feel like you have people in your life for once, and it makes you feel like you have people that, that care about you, and you can all sort of relate on. So I look at situations like that, and I'm like, this is why it's worth getting involved if you aren't involved. But in order to get involved, you just got to basically contact your local county. I don't want to speak for outside of the states, but I'm pretty sure it's similar. If you don't live in Ohio like myself, I'm pretty sure it's similar to get involved in another state as well. Just contact your local county and go from there. So that's the thing. My second point with why you should get involved is just the people and how much it can be really such a support system for your child. I think back to why I struggled in life, and a lot of it I feel like is a lot of it was immaturity because my parents were dumb. You know how we think when we're young. Our parents don't do anything. And I think a lot of that was I just didn't want to hear it from them. But the moment I heard it from, say, outside my parents, it's like something just clicked. I would only want to hear it from someone else, which is kind of weird. But that's just how I don't know. It's just, the point is, I eventually, I started subconsciously doing better because I had a great support system in my life. I mean, I didn't just get all these medals on the walls here and plaque by, not having a good support system. I cannot take any credibility of this much success without some sort of support system. Except for the bowling trophies, that was because of my dad and mom. Those are the support systems there because those are non-Special Olympic related. But the medals, this is a framed. Hang on, that is a framed news article that is actually a year we won state in basketball. So you get to the point of success, and you get to this point of, I feel more comfortable doing things that I used to not feel comfortable with by joining. I think it's well worth a look into, guys, because it just feels good. I mean, everyone wants to feel wanted, and I feel like a lot of times that's what we all strive to want is we want to feel wanted. We want to feel like we have relationships. We want things just like anyone else does, and that's what this offers. So I think it's exciting. I think that we're always looking for volunteers. We're always looking for we want to get as many athletes out there involved as we can. The only thing I will say on this is that I believe you have to be at least 6 years old to start playing. But once you're in, I mean, you can play as long as you want. We got a lot of guys on the team that are. Let me just put it this way, Derek. If you're listening to this, how's that leg doing? It's an inside joke, but Derek's getting up there. He's He's slowly getting up there, and we razz him about it, and he still moves real well. He still does a lot of things well, and so you can play as long as you want. You just have to be 6, I believe. So I mean, I'll be 29 this year, and I'm still playing. I've probably been playing since sophomore year in high school is when I started playing for Coshocton County, and then just basically I transferred to Tuskegee. So with that said, I do want to say, guys, it does give you a sense of it'll give your child a sense of purpose, and I think it's something well worth looking into, because we all want to feel, like I said, we all want to feel, welcomed. We want to feel loved. We want to build those relationships, so to speak. So I just thought I would give you guys some tools today on how to build that up. So let's give that a look into if you're interested. So the second thing I want to talk about is summer games. So that is the it's right around the corner. I believe it's June 23rd, and that's on a Friday. So summer games is a weekend. It's a Special Olympic event. Okay, it's state for summer, if I believe is how that works. So it's state for summer. There's a lot of different sports that go on up there, and excuse me, throat's a little dry. But there's a lot of sports that go on up there, and it takes place at Jesse Owens Stadium at the Ohio State University. So you have sports like track, bocce, volleyball, bowling, and we just added powerlifting. So powerlifting's in there as well now. So usually what happens is you get there, and for us it's like about a 2-hour drive to get there. And then basically what happens is Friday night is like opening ceremony. So they take all counties that are involved in it in like, alphabetical order. So we're Tuscarawas, so we're like way in the back. And they come out around the track, and they do the torch run and all that, and it's a really cool thing to sort of see, because now you're seeing all these counties that are, competing. It's actually, I mean, I think last year when I went and helped out with the bowling team last year as a coach, and I remember sitting with the track team and just watching some of these athletes run. Now let me tell you guys something. I'm not a runner, and just to run anyway. I'm not gonna run just to run, is what I'm saying. I'm not a track person. I'll run, but I feel like I'm a kind of person that, like, I'll run to put the ball in a hoop, or I'll run to, I don't know. I just feel like I'm not just going to run to beat a time. That's not my thing. I'm not disrespecting it. It's just not my thing. Unless there's a food truck at the end of the freaking track, I'm not running. End of story, right? But I remember sitting with the track team last year, kind of watching, while we were waiting on some of our athletes to run, and we were watching these other counties run. I'm like, my gosh, like, These guys are fast, but it's cool to see, and how excited they get when they win gold. It's so awesome to see. It's a fantastic sight to see, and I just remember sitting there thinking to myself as I'm watching these other athletes kind of compete against each other, like, I can't even run that fast, and there ain't no way. I'm like, what? So it's just, I don't know. It's an awesome event. You get to see things like that. You get to. It's a great weekend. It is, and I think that at summer games, when we talk about the sports, everyone, yes, wants to compete and beat the other person, but I feel like it's more about the actual trip, because what happens in this trip is you literally get to stay in the dorms, which is cool, right? Because now when you're staying in the dorms, because it's a whole weekend thing. So you're staying in these dorms with your teammates, there's showers and everything. And it's just, it's a long weekend, and it is tiring, but it's so much fun. And then when you finally, go home, you're like, oh, that was such a blast. You can't wait till next year already. I know I've competed in summer games 2 or 3 times, I think, for bowling. And, but I think I believe that's been it just for me. It's just for bowling, but because I'm not going to run track. I'm not really necessarily great at volleyball. If you guys want to know about me, I mainly play flag football when I can, and softball, basketball. Those are my three big sports. And I'll still come out for other things. Like I might go and to a practice of a sport that, I'm not really playing, but I'll come over just to volunteer and help in case there's need, you know, in case the coaches need some extra hands with some drills or something, because that's just what I like to do. But summer games is awesome. So yeah, you do get to stay on campus and you do get to meet some amazing people. It's just, I know our coordinator usually orders in some pizza or something, and we just kind of all hang out before bedtime in the dorms, and we're just goofing around. We play cards, things like that. It's just a blast, and I think that everyone wants that experience. I think at the end of the day, it is a great opportunity for individuals with disabilities to really be able to feel wanted and be able to feel like what they're doing matters, I guess, right? Because I feel like we all want to feel like we're doing something that matters. So it's a great event. So if you live in the Columbus area and you're listening to me, or you just maybe you don't, you just want to go check it out. Maybe you kind of live close to Columbus. Jesse Owens Stadium, June 23rd, I believe, is when that starts. So Friday night there'll be opening ceremonies at Jesse Owens Stadium. And there's going to be a lot of cool other things. It's free to get in. Any Special Olympic event's free. So with that said, guys, I want to give you the quote of the day, and that is this: Remember to always push yourself, because no one is going to push yourself for you. That's a hard one for me to sometimes think about, because think back to a time of sort of this sense of identifying my personal self with just my disability, and that's all I was going to be. And I wish that I had someone out there, such as I guess what I'm trying to say is I just wish I had someone that would have listened more outside of my parents. Someone that would have understood. I mean, I had people in my life that were great support systems. Don't get me wrong. I'm not taking away from those people, but what I'm saying is I wish I could have found someone that was more relatable to. Because I feel like I would have pushed myself a little more, and that's why I'm doing this for you guys. Is because with all the technology today, there's no reason why somebody can't go on here and talk more about these issues, because I feel like a lot of us feel overlooked, and I feel like we could all be doing more. Like, I would love to be an athlete that can learn Braille and ASL, so like American Sign Language and all that, because I want to do more for other athletes. That's my goal. I'm an athlete, yes, but I think I should have the skills to make sure that if I encounter another athlete who needs special assistance with Braille or ASL, that I should be able to step up as a leader of our county and really just help them out and make sure they have what they need, regardless if they're from our county or another county. It doesn't matter at the end of the day. Even though we're competing against each other, we all have the same goals, same vision, and we all want the same thing. So keep that in mind, guys. Push yourself, because no one's going to do it for you. So this next part of the whole thing, which we're going to get to after a quick commercial break, but I just want to tell you guys this. This next part of the segment is going to be quite interesting, I feel like, because I think you guys might get a laugh out of this, but we'll see. So with that said, guys, we will be right back after this commercial break. We'll see you in a few.